In the heart of the American countryside, where the morning mist clings to the rolling hills, stood a small wooden house, its paint peeling like old memories. Every dawn, an old woman would emerge, a simple cup of tea warming her hands as she watched the sun begin its slow climb. Her days were a quiet struggle. The fence that bordered her property was broken, leaning tiredly against the wind, and her garden, once vibrant, was now a dusty patch of earth. The house itself seemed to sigh with the weight of loneliness. Years ago, this home was filled with laughter and love. She had a family, a husband and children whose voices once echoed through these rooms. But time, in its relentless way, had taken them from her, leaving only the faint whispers of what used to be. The silence was her constant companion. Sometimes, driven by necessity, she would travel to the nearby city. She'd stand on bustling street corners, her eyes pleading for a small kindness, a bit of help to mend her fence or till her garden. But the city was a river of hurried faces, a place where people flowed past her, their gazes averted, her quiet requests lost in the urban noise. She returned home each time with a heavy heart, the city's indifference a stark contrast to the vast open sky above her home. One night, as a storm raged outside, the power went out. The house was plunged into darkness, save for the flickering flame of a single candle. In that small circle of light, surrounded by shadows that danced on the walls, she felt the full weight of her solitude. It would have been easy to surrender to despair, to let the darkness in her heart match the darkness outside. But as she watched the resilient flame, a different feeling sparked within her. It was a quiet strength, a resolve that had been forged in the fires of loss and hardship. She would not be broken. The next day, she took what little food she had, a loaf of bread and a small piece of cheese, and went back to the city. This time, she wasn't looking for help for herself. She wandered through the cold, damp alleyways until she saw a small child, huddled against a brick wall, shivering and alone. The child's eyes were wide with a hunger that mirrored her own deep-seated loneliness. Without a word, she sat down and offered the food. The child hesitated, then took it, and for a moment they shared a silent meal, two lonely souls finding a brief moment of connection in a world that had forgotten them. This became her new purpose. She would share what little she had, turning her pain into an offering of kindness. Years passed. The old woman grew frailer, her steps slower, but her spirit remained unbroken. Her small acts of generosity continued, ripples of light in the city's forgotten corners. One sunny afternoon, a shiny car pulled up to her weathered house. A well-dressed man stepped out, his face familiar, though aged by time. It was the child from the alley, now a successful man. He had never forgotten her kindness, that simple act of sharing that had given him hope when he had none. He had returned not just to thank her, but to repay her compassion. He hired workers who mended the broken fence, painted the peeling walls, and transformed her dusty patch of land into a flourishing garden, bursting with flowers and vegetables. The house, once a symbol of her loneliness, became a beacon of warmth and care, filled with life once more. In her final years, the old woman would sit on her new porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and purple. She was no longer alone. The man she had helped visited often, bringing his own family, their laughter filling the air. She had found her peace, a quiet joy that bloomed from a single seed of kindness planted long ago. Her life was a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, a beautiful story proving that patience and a giving heart can turn the deepest pain into the most profound blessings. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe for more.